Hi, this is Ron Nutter, and we're with another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter product reviews. Now, today we're looking at the Plugable Digital Microscope and 3 things you need to know. Okay, now we're going to do the unboxing of something that this was something I found during Prime Day, and I was not looking for this one, but I'm always a sucker for another tool. And this is a digital microscope, and don't let the name fool you, from the good folks at Plugable. I've used a lot of their stuff over the years, and I tell you what, they haven't disappointed on this one. So let's get this one unboxed here. So we'll get one of the tabs pulled out here. Then we'll flip it back over because I could tell that was about to fall out. So there is a stand, the base of a stand, suction cupped to a little grid piece here, which does an interesting job as far as it gives you a frame of reference measurement, so that when you're going to measure something, you've got a measure grid or rule or whatever you call it right there on top. So that's, but you don't have to use that. So here's an articulating arm that screws right into there. You've got the little, what I'll call a U-clip in there. And that's if you want to use it on the stand. You don't have to. And then here is the actual camera itself. This is to keep you from getting too close, so it will still focus to an extent. And it is a manual focus, so that, that's not a bad deal. And then you can control how bright the little O-ring light that comes with it is from right there. Now, this is a capacitive touch button, so you just have to tap it and it will go. This should operate on just about anything. If they're using webcam, if they got support for webcam drivers, that's what they've done. Plugable did, and that was very smart on their part. So you can either use USB-A or USB-C, and God love them if they didn't put it on a leash so that you've always got it there, and just slip it over the right way there. So you can go directly into USB-C, so you don't have to carry in adapter cables with you. And if you wonder what this little gem is right here, that's to help any interference coming down the line of what this cable may be picking up with what you've got in the area. So this helps kind of keep that down to an absolute minimum. And then you've got the instructions. And really, you don't need the instructions, but they send them anyway. And then here's how to get help if you really need it on this. And this is, guys, this is well worth having, because I've used this in situations that wasn't really, you think of this as replacing like your old-time assault, you think about the replacements of your old-time microscopes, and I've still got the first one I ever had, just haven't had the heart to part with it. This is so much more useful. I had a vendor one time. I called in for tech support, and a part of this opening case, you have to give them the serial number. I looked at the serial number in the back of the unit, took a picture of it, and then typed that into the case note. So they came back within a few minutes. That's not one of our devices. And I went, really? So I didn't have this, but had something like this. And here is, I'm dealing with a 19-inch equipment rack that doesn't have a lot of room, not a whole lot of light in it. So having the built-in light was very handy. I went in, got as close as I could get to reasonably read the serial number, took a picture, emailed it, and I said, here's what your unit has on the outside. And the response I heard next was, oh, okay, well, what can we help you with? So that's when this kind of thing, if you're a person in IT, or you happen to get support on something and you're not the IT person, this is very handy to have to get those serial numbers when tech support says that's not one of our devices. So handy to have for a variety of purposes. Thing number 1, this supports almost every operating system. What you need to look for is to make sure that it has support for webcam drivers, because that's what the Plugable device will look like. Thing number 2, this has got high definition magnification anywhere from 60 times to 250 times. So you can enlarge things up quite a bit. And for kids today, whether big kids or little kids, this beats the heck out of my old microscope because I had to put everything on slides, and I've got a collection of different blood samples, which, you know, doctor's office couldn't even give those to you. They handed me a whole box of them and said, here, we're not going to use these anymore and we can't reuse them. That wouldn't happen in today's time. And thing number 3, this can be used for more than just a microscope. Like you heard me talk about earlier, this is something that can help you with capturing serial numbers, identifying information as to if it's a collectible item. You know, you can get down to the scratches and imperfections depending on how minute they are. So from a documentation standpoint for insurance, you can capture quite a bit that will make it a lot easier when it comes time to dealing with the insurance company. One more thing before we leave. This whiteboard that you see the microscope attached to, where it sits on the board, and it's hard to see this on camera, but there is a very glossy circle. You put that foot right on top of that and then push the lever down, and that's going to have a very firm foot. Of course, the camera's not that heavy, or microscope's not that heavy, but still, you don't have to worry about it moving. And with the grid mechanism you see there and the measuring rules side by side, you can do a lot of documentation with not any extra work, or not much anyway. So think about getting one of these today, and I think whether it's for you or for an inquisitive young one, this is going to be something that will get a lot of use.